This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast, episode number 163. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and I'm not reading his chat messages. Jared Schultz. Jared, how the heck are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Lloyd? I haven't talked to you forever. Are you still alive?
I am alive. I am alive.
I had some concerns there for a little bit.
Oh, yes, I am alive. Well, if you're following me on Twitter, I was still twittering, but I wasn't doing much of anything else. I guess I should explain, had a really hard time at work the last little while, so I've been working some stupid overtime, and unfortunately that meant coming home from work and saying goodnight to the kids and going straight to bed. It was really insane there for a little while. That's kind of slowed down a little bit, even though I've been working overtime every day this week, but it's not as bad as it was. So we're going through some crazy projects, and it's kind of gone away now. So that's why we're doing shows. I did not mean to go silent for 3 weeks, but turned out that's what happened because of real life. So my apologies to everybody, and I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that has been checking in on Twitter and email and voice messages and all that other stuff, wondering if I was okay or if I got hit by a bus. So my apologies, even though I was talking a lot on Twitter, so I assumed that people would know that everything was okay. I was just really busy. Turns out that not everybody follows me on Twitter, so that makes sense as to why there was confused people out there. So my apologies, and hopefully this will not happen again.
Yeah, nobody checked in on me. You think nobody cared if I was gotten hit by a bus?
It could have been Jared that was hit by a bus, and I was too distraught to continue on with the show.
I mean, that would be the logical. Seems logical to me. Nobody checked in on me. All right.
People love you, Jared. They just love you too much to talk to you. They're scared. They're fearing the celebrity that you have, is what it is. Clearly. Awesome. Well, let's get into the show. No announcements really. So let's jump right in. Jared, what have you been playing?
Wait.
What?
What about our? Okay.
What? Did we forget something?
Well, we had talked about it before the show that we were going to try and go back to weekly.
Oh yeah, but we don't have to let people know that, because if it doesn't happen, then we're under delivering and over promising. We want to under-promise and over-deliver, because we've been under-delivering for the last 3 weeks.
All right, so Fox.
So yeah, what you been playing?
Oh, what have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of games since it has been a lot of time, and so I will talk about some of them here. So I'm playing a game called Mines of Mars. It's by Crescent Moon. It's kind of similar to like the games I Dig It that came out a long time ago, where you go and you dig up some gems and then you go and cash them in at the town, and the town gives you money and you use that money, except in this case it's not money. You refine gems and you're on Mars, so there's a little bit different there, but and you're a miner guy, you're not like a crazy ship, and you refine the gems and there's no money in it, so you have to go find actually the resources you're looking for and get them refined. But then there's this really weird thing that you have so much weight or space in your backpack, which that's fine. But for some reason, when the stuff is refined or the gems are cut, they no longer have any weight in your backpack.
That makes total sense.
So yeah, and they try to like explain it away with some like anti-gravity thing, and I'm like, wait, so the anti-gravity works when they're refined or cut? But
who designed this garbage?
Yeah, seriously, like you'd think that if you already have an anti-gravity device, you'd be able to do more with it. So anyway, there's a little bit of a suspension of belief there, and it was kind of interesting because I was actually playing this, and then I had picked up SteamWorld Dig on the 3DS, which I know this isn't a Nintendo show.
Yes,
but
I picked that up on I picked that up on PS4 as well, so I have played that as well.
And that one's a better game.
It's way better.
It's really good.
Yeah,
like
it is.
And
really,
Mines
really
of Mars is good, and there's some interesting things about it. There's a little bit more combat stuff in it, which is kind of cool. However, I found that whenever I have to shoot my gun, it doesn't work very well on Mines of Mars. Like oftentimes the little monsters will hit me once or twice before I actually get my gun working, which is not something you want to have because, it's kind of like the left side fake keypad or fake controller is moving, and then your right side is, um, your gun. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it just makes like you'll just hit it, and it'll think you're wanting to jump because that's also how you jump. And usually the monster hits you twice before you get your gun out,
Yep.
which is not a good thing to happen. So yeah, it's a game. If you're interested in kind of one of those minor ones, I actually heard I Dig It. There's a new I Dig It coming, and I think I Dig It might be a little bit better franchise, though I do like the little bit of combat in it. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we can just go talk to the I Dig It people and get combat put in there, and then that would be the better solution. But
I'll get them on the hotline.
get them on the hotline. There we go. Late Hennison. All right. So next game I'm going to talk about is Crossword Dungeon. Have you heard about this game, Lloyd?
No, and it sounds really bizarre.
It's pretty good. It's strange. It is.
Doesn't sound like that would work at all.
Yeah. So you're. It's kind of a roguelike, in that you don't really get any stronger. You pick one of the classes and you head into the Crossword Dungeon. And at first there'll only be, say, one or two little things that you have to go after. One or two words, that is, sorry. And then as time goes on, there's more. And what will happen is any room where there's a bad guy in it, you actually have to guess the letter. And if you guess the letter wrong, then the bad guy will attack you. And if you guess it right, then they won't. And in general, there's like an up and down word and a sideways word. So, right now I have a 5 letters down, and as you're exploring this, and so there'll be, if it crosses both a downward and a crossword, there'll be a clue for both. So you're able to try and use that to try and, to guess. If there's no bad guy in it, they'll just give you the letter. So if you have rooms with no bad guys in it, you usually want to try and get to those quickly so that it'll help you figure out the words. It's
Long summer weekends are.
Never mind.
Oh.
That's my bad again. I'm opening up my Twitch channel to change the title because people are saying that it still says I'm playing Metal Gear when I'm not. And then ads come on, so I couldn't do that. So my bad. So I'm sorry. I've just forget I'm here.
Lloyd,
Forget I'm here.
distracted while I'm talking about it. Anyway, so it's kind of a weird little game, and it's surprisingly fun. It has the little bit of word game that I enjoy a little word game. I'm not figuring out how to like you can level up your character, but what happens way too often is I'm tapping on the next one, which means that I don't actually see the level. So the leveling thing is not perfect there. And there's some skills and stuff, and slowly you can build up. However, like I said, as far as I can see, it's not like you get stronger so that next time you can go through better. However, I'm sure that there's some people that spell words really well and they do a great job, getting through this. So it's fun. I actually am surprised how much I like it. So, that's Crossword Dungeon.
Cool.
Next game is Royal Revolt. Royal Revolt was a fantastic game. Oh, Royal Revolt 2, I'm sorry. Because Royal Revolt, the original, came out a while ago. I have no idea when. Time just has flown by and I've lost all track. But it was cool because you're like this prince that you were trying to you had been away, and while you were away, your father died, so you were the rightful heir, but all your aunts and uncles conspired against you and built up towers and castles, and you had to attack all their places. And
Sure.
It was cool because it was kind of like a tower attack, that there would be little towers and traps and gates and stuff, and you would have to figure out the best way to try and, attack and take them down, and so that you would win. and it was a pretty cool game. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it at least a 4 out of 5, maybe a 5 out of 5. Really, really great game. So when I saw this Royal Revolt 2 come out, I was excited. I was thought, hey, really like the first one. Um, this one's kind of weird because they basically went and took their original game and they crossed it with a freemium game, and so now you're having to. It's free to play, and there's a whole bunch of timers, and you have builders, kind of like a Clash of Clans or something, and you can only build so many different um, buildings at a single time, and you slowly work around, and um, you can also use your builders to build your defenses up, which is cool. But then when you go and attack, you're no longer really there's a little bit of a story mode, but mostly you're going out and attacking other people and hitting their stuff, and so it's kind of weird because it's like they went and took their game and crossed it with Clash of Clans and made it super social and very freemium, so that you have to wait and you have to log in relatively regularly to collect the money, and you have to do that a couple times, and then upgrade your stores so you can hold more money and all that type of thing. And I played it, and I played it for 3 or 4 days, and I deleted it because it was just I don't know. I was getting frustrated by the freemium and how much it was holding me back, and I was like, I don't really, I guess I was used to playing this game as more of a marathon, playing a whole bunch at a time, as rather than doing the short little play sessions on it, and I was kind of disappointed. So I basically considered going and installing the first one again because I had more fun with it. And unfortunately, that's not the last time I'm going to say that in this show.
Ooh.
So then I played this game called Cave Sweeper.
Hmm.
Have you heard about this one?
I have not.
Man, you've been totally out of it.
I've probably heard of it. I just there's been so many games that I've heard of over the 5 years of the App Store that they now all start blending into each other.
So Cave Sweeper is this weird dungeon crawler mixed with Minesweeper. Yeah, go figure. So Cave Sweeper, you're given these different levels, and you'll point out a point, and you'll be like, that one's blue, and then it'll turn blue, right? If you're right, and I don't know, and then it'll be like, I guess green and red, or I should probably use green and red, but if it's red, and these are only directly adjacent, not diagonal. So if it says 3, then that means 3 of the 4 that directly touch it, the 3 of the 4 squares, are also green. And so you figure out which 3 are green, and then that means the other one is red. And then it gets much harder because then, after you've done 2 colors, then all of a sudden you'll have 3 colors, and it gets much harder as you go on. You're able to get some loot that you then go buy some stuff that helps you fight bad guys better, even though there's a pretty big disconnect between how you're actually fighting the bad guys by playing this Minesweeper-ish game.
The I'm looking at the screenshots right now. They look pretty programmer arty.
Yeah. So it's hard because I really like the idea of this game. I just think that it just needed a little more polish. I think that's fair to say. So it's an interesting thing. I think it's $1 or something in the App Store. So cool idea. Need a bit more polish, I think, but that's Cave Super. Half of these I'm giving like the 1 minute review versions of. And then the second one that I was more happy with the original game is Fairway Solitaire Blast. So, did you ever play Fairway Solitaire? I know that was
Yep.
kind of big for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was this cool little game where stuff would come out in different orders. There would be face cards all over, and you would have to go either one higher or one lower than the card that you had, and you would have to basically collect all the cards. There was little bits of strategy if there were multiple on whether you wanted to go up or down, but it was pretty simplistic, quick little play a game. They did some really cool stuff with like daily missions that kept me coming back, which was great.
Hmm.
Oh, you dirty. Sorry.
I forgot to put that in there. I had to make sure to get that in the show notes.
Um, we'll talk about that later. Um, and it was cool. They had these daily missions that would give you little challenges, so you could play the daily missions. You could earn money, and you could buy clubs which were of specific numbers, so that if you were struggling at one point, you could just whip out your club of that number and then continue on. So they came out with Fairway Solitaire Blast, and a couple of things here. They turned up the freemium stuff to a higher level. One of the big things that they did is they made it so you only have so many plays, and then those plays regenerate over time. So you have like 5 plays, I think it is, and then I think it takes like 25 minutes to regenerate, which is admittedly kind of stupid because a play takes like 5 minutes.
Right.
And so if I'm giving you a play back every 5 minutes, then usually I have one back by the time I finish. But then it's after that you can no longer play until you wait a whole bunch of time. You wait a couple hours. Second thing they did, I am a believer that if I clear the level, I should be able to go on.
Silly
And
man.
yeah, you can only do that if you clear a certain point threshold. So for me, if it's like a 3-star game, I should get 1 star for clearing the level. I don't ask for much, but I think I can't budge on this fact. So I had one level that I tried several times. I would say 3 or 4 times I actually cleared it. I didn't clear it with a lot remaining, but I cleared it with just a few cards remaining. And I got 0 stars, so I couldn't go on. And I would have to replay the same level. And I was like, wait, but I cleared it. If you gave me a specific cards and I did not meet your threshold, even though I cleared it, that seems wrong to me. Which I don't know. It sounds petty and stupid now that I'm saying it out loud, but it fundamentally was bugging me really bad.
I can see that for
Because
sure.
it's like, I cleared this level. You should have made the point threshold equivalent to what I could have done had I just cleared this level just barely. And so I wasn't able to go on. And then, and because of that, they made it significantly harder. So there's a ton of levels in it. There's like over 100 levels. It's free, so you can go out and pick it up and try it yourself. I did not like it as much as the earlier game, just because of all the little pushiness on. They made it much harder. They put all these extra powers in there that you'll have like a vertical one that destroys a card in all the stacks in that column, or a horizontal one that destroys everything in the row, or a bomb one that destroys things that are surrounding it. So there's these superpowers, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I not a huge fan.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so
disappointing. I really like that one when it
I
first
went
came out.
and uninstalled it and went back and played Fairway Solitaire for a bit. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm sorry, that was kind of depressing because of the 5 games I just talked about, the only one that I might recommend checking out as interesting was Crossword Dungeon. So yeah, what have you been playing, Lloyd?
I've been playing a fair bit. We'll quickly go over the ones. Flappy Golf. So I've been playing some Flappy Golf. Have you checked out Flappy Golf yet, Jared?
I was hoping I would never have to hear the word Flappy again.
No, go download right now. Like, open up your device and download Flappy Golf.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. It's a free game. It's free to play, and it's essentially Stickman Golf. Except instead of Stickman Golf, you play a golf ball that can flap, and your scores on the holes relate to the number of flaps that you've used to get your ball to where it needs to go. And to get par and 3 stars, you have to use under X number of flaps in the level. And it's unbelievably ingenious, and it is so much fun. There's like 200 levels in the game. It is the best thing to come out of this whole Flappy garbage thing that happened over the last little while. So if you haven't yet played Flappy Golf, download it. It is definitely worth downloading and worth playing. It is a heck of a lot of fun. Heck of a lot of fun. What's next? Today I downloaded a game called Breakfinity, which is an infinite breakout kind of game. So, you know, paddle in the bottom of the screen and you're bouncing the ball, breaking blocks. But this one is an infinite breaker because as soon as you break through the blocks and hit the top of the screen, all the blocks disappear and a new set of blocks come down. And you essentially have one ball to get as many points as you can. And then you can buy more plays with the in-app currency. And you can unlock the in-app currency by breaking the really hard blocks that are in each of the levels. So interesting take on a kind of a breakout clone. So definitely check that one out if you are into that type of stuff. I downloaded it because it was free and I wanted to check into it. And yeah, it's fun. It is...
Hey, Flappy Golf's by Noodle Cake. That's the same people that did Super Stickman Golf, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why they came out with it. They were part of that Flappy Con or whatever, or Flappy Jam, I think it was. So you had
got it. Okay, makes sense.
Some Cthulhu game that came out. They made Flappy Cthulhu, or called Flap Thulu, and there's a bunch of other Flappy games that came out of it as well. But yeah, Flappy Golf, worth playing. Definitely go check it out.
Sorry.
No problem. I've also been playing Disco Zoo, but I think I'm done with that one. I was having we were talking in the pre-show. I was having a little race with my wife to be the first one to get all diamond trophies, and I kicked her butt like crazy getting for the original release, getting all the diamond trophies and beating her like, I don't know, days before she did it. I did it, so that was great. And then she continued to play after she got her diamond trophies, and she had millions of dollars saved up. So when the update came out that added a new zone, she got the trophy like a week before I did. So then she laughed at me and I felt shame for laughing at her in the first place. But now that that's done, I think I am done with Disco Zoo. There's no fun in the game for me to come and wake up my animals. It's more of an annoyance than anything else. And I don't know why I played it so much in the first place. So Disco Zoo, it was really fun for the couple weeks that I was really into it. Now it's just more of a chore. So I guess that's what happens with a lot of these freemium, you're not really playing a game, you're babysitting timers kind of games.
Can I tell you my Disco Zoo story?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So I was like your wife, and except I didn't care about any diamond trophies or anything like that. So so I was playing Disco Zoo, and I kept getting a whole bunch of money so that when the Jurassic came out, I think it was like 3.5 million something. It was ridiculous. And so I just went and I immediately started going there over and over again. I think I was on a boring meeting or something at work. And I went and sketched out all the animals to make sure I knew what all the animal shapes were in the new area. And I got 25, the maximum number of the 5 of the Jurassic animals, and I got 24 of the sixth animal. And I was like, I'm done. And I seriously got out of the game, deleted it, and have never looked back. And even though I spent probably like an hour right there getting all of the Jurassic animals except for one, and it was kind of funny because when we were talking about it, you said that you went and looked at it right after it came out, like 3 hours after it came out, and I was like in the world leaderboards really high or something.
You're like number 3 on the leaderboards for the number of animals caught because you had them all, essentially, which is hilarious. I was like, how the hell did Jared get a pre-release version of this? Because I downloaded the update like a couple hours after it came out, or maybe it was like 6 hours or 12 hours or whatever, but really close to when it first came out. And so after I spent all my money, I went and looked at the leaderboards and I was like, what? Jared has all the animals except for one? How is that even possible? And yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that is how it happened.
It's deleted, and it was deleted like moments after I got it too. Like it was just one of those moments.
Uh-oh. Jared's breaking up. We're having network issues already. You still there, Jared? Of course not. Of course he's gone. Well, we'll try to get Jared back and have him complete his story. Oh wait, you're back now. You're moving.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all. You're all frozen like crazy. All
That's
right.
weird.
Well, let's leave our stories, our Disco Zoo stories, because like you, I'm about to delete my copy as well.
Goodbye, Disco Zoo. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of games that are you're just babysitting timers, Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff came out this week. Yesterday or today actually, early today. So I downloaded it because I've been playing Simpsons since it came out, and this is essentially the same game, and or at least I thought it was the same game. Turns out it is way different than The Simpsons. So in The Simpsons, you have a level, and you get the level by collecting experience, and then each level you get access to more stuff, yada yada yada. Family Guy, they've changed that up a bit. So you have a level like as a character level for you, the player, and then each of the unlockable characters in the game have a level, and some of the jobs aren't available until they're higher level. There's unlockable costumes, yada yada yada. I'm not sure what to think about this game yet. I'm playing it just to check it out, but I don't even play Simpsons very often anymore, so I don't see myself wanting to play another one. The one thing about this game, the Family Guy one, other than the fact that it's Family Guy and I love Family Guy, is that there's actual quests in the game. So to unlock characters, you have to do a series of quests to collect items. So it feels kind of like MMO like, except your quests are just waiting for timers to tick down. So it's not like an MMO at all in that regard. But it just seems like there's a little bit more to do in this game. I love Family Guy and I love laughing to Family Guy, so that's why I kind of want to play this game. But I don't know. I'm kind of done with the babysitting timers kind of games. I don't really want to do that anymore. So anyway, we'll see how this goes over the next couple weeks if I'm still playing it. But Family Guy is out, and I almost didn't download it because of a news story that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. I've also been playing Crazy Taxi. Yeah, which I'm going to be reviewing this episode, and it should be a fun review for sure. A game called David came out, which is 99 cents, and the review or the preview that I read about it, people were kind of comparing it to Shadow of the Colossus, where you're basically fighting big enemies by crawling up their back and then slaying them. This game really isn't like that, but it's this really crazy minimalistic kind of puzzle / adventure action game. It's puzzle because you have to figure out how to beat the enemies on each of the levels, and then you have to have the right twitch mechanics to or the twitch abilities to play it, and defeat these bosses and collect the items or the experience points or whatever it is that you get. I don't even know what they're called, to then unlock other levels. It's really kind of fun. It's super minimalistic. It's kind of like wireframe art with like lots of glow effects, but it is it's interesting. I'm definitely going to be getting a little bit more into that as the days come. Maybe that'll be a review for a future episode of the show. And I've also been playing this game, which is on my iPad right now, just to gloat to Jared, and that is Hearthstone has launched on the iPad, and it's launched in Australia, New Zealand, and this little cold rock that we call Canada. So I'm playing Hearthstone. I'm going to play a Bloodfen Raptor right now. Oh, there I go. I played the Bloodfen Raptor in this battle that I'm having online. It's really good. I played a fair bit, not a lot, but a fair bit of Hearthstone on the PC, and I like it better on the iPad. It seems like it was really meant for the iPad, more so than a PC where you are basically clicking and dragging on items. It feels better to actually just pick up the card with your finger and drop it and do lots of damage, and it plays really well. So I'm really digging it so far. So if you have access to a Canadian, if you can borrow a Canadian and get access to download it, and it is definitely worth playing on the iPad. It is really a lot of fun. So I'm gonna stop my play right now, otherwise I'll be too distracted. That's the only problem about this game coming out on the iPad, is I kind of don't want to stop playing it. So it's super addictive. So but that's Hearthstone. It's available on the iPad, and check it out if you are in Australia, New Zealand, or Canada. I'm sure it'll be coming to the rest of the world very soon. Sorry for making you cry, Jared.
It's all right. I went on mute to let out my wail of agony. And it's even worse because you didn't even know it was coming out, and I was like, Lloyd, why haven't you downloaded this?
No, you were like, have fun with your Hearthstone, jerk. And I was like, Hearthstone? It came out? And I went and downloaded it. And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, he wouldn't even known.
My insult led him to go have fun. How did that work?
Yeah, you jerk. Anyway, but that's cool. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. I'm sure that I will enjoy it when it comes out, even though that means I have to go steal an iPad, which is a little difficult. Actually, the other interesting thing is we have the iPad, and we got a nice size crack in it.
Oh, really?
Of my son, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, how did you do that? And that makes all sense now.
Yeah, this was last week, and so the other thing that I ended up buying iOS related was an OtterBox Defender case.
Nice.
That thing, it makes it a beast. Like, it makes it really thick and heavy, which is not good, but I feel a lot better about my son touching it with that thing on it, because it's pretty hefty. So, and I am also will be looking for iPad glass repair in the Portland, Oregon area very soon.
There's someone at my work that recently had that, where they dropped their iPad on the corner from a very, not even a high fall, but it landed. So it landed at the worst angle and flexed in a certain way, and he got basically a spider crack on it, and he was able to get that glass repaired for like $100. It was not the one that was laminated to the glass, though. It was the older version of the iPad where there was a noticeable gap. So it's probably a little bit more expensive if you have one of the newer iPad models where the LCD panel is laminated to the top glass. But it can be pretty affordable.
Yeah, we have an iPad 2, so before they went to the Retina display, so I think that we're in the same boat.
Yeah, you're in the same boat, so you can probably get someone to get it. Sorry, what's that?
Was it at an Apple store or just some other guy?
No, it was just some guy that phone repair guy, those kiosk type things where they have phone numbers and things. Yeah, it's just a friend of his that happens to do that on the side. And yeah, I think it was like $100 or something to get the glass repaired, all in, including the work and the glass replacement. So you could probably find something fairly cheap if you have the iPad 2. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the news. So up first, this is gonna basically, I referenced this earlier when I talked about the Family Guy game, Family Guy Quest for Stuff. What normally happens on the App Store is games come out Thursday. They come out Thursday in Apple time. For me, since I'm not in California, they come out at like 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. And what they do is early in the morning or I guess late in the morning or late in the evening on Tuesday, early in the morning on Wednesday, they hit other app stores around the world. So they started in New Zealand and they moved their way across. So when this game came out, it came out in New Zealand, which was on, I guess it was on Tuesday. So it came out a little bit earlier than how it normally should have if it follows the normal release dates. But people just thought, hey, maybe they're releasing early. So a lot of people downloaded the game for free from the New Zealand App Store, because if you have a New Zealand App Store account, you can just download free titles just like you can if you're American and you create a Canadian App Store account. So people downloaded it, and then they started streaming it on Twitch. They started creating videos and posting it to YouTube. So instead of just politely asking for people to take these videos down, Well, they kind of did. The Twitter account for Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff, says, hello to this one guy that was posting videos. Hello, Hans. Can you please take it down until launch date, April 10th? The game is not yet launched. Videos and gameplay are not allowed until the official date. To what Hans said, it's on the App Store. How is it not released? I downloaded it from the App Store. I didn't steal it. I didn't find it. So apparently it was released early, yada yada yada, whatever. So instead of just asking nicely and leaving it at that, Fox actually went to the point of doing copyright claims on all the videos, getting them taken down off of YouTube, and actually got a number of Twitch accounts banned for people that were streaming this, all because they released a game early. It's a free game. The people downloaded it without hacking, without using any sort of thing. They didn't pirate it. They got an actual copy of the game from the App Store and started playing it. And then Fox basically got people's Twitch accounts suspended, and YouTube accounts now have copyright strikes against it, and the videos were taken down. I heard that, and I kind of flipped out. I was chatting with a buddy of mine, and I got really mad. I'm like how can a company that wants people to play their games do such douchey things like Fox did in this regard? So I almost didn't download this game, and if I wasn't such a huge Family Guy fan, I wouldn't have. But I wanted to kind of see it, and so I can contrast and compare it to the Simpsons one. But what a really douchey thing to do. Did you hear about this at all, Jared?
Yeah, I had heard that Fox was doing it. It's really poor taste, especially because, like you said, the game was completely, out. Yeah. It's not like they did anything or got it in any questionable way. And to put strikes on people like that is just really, really poor taste.
And the worst part is these are your fans, and they're playing a game that you made because they like it. They like the source material. They like the game, whatever. These aren't people that are like making crappy videos. And even if they were, I mean, I couldn't understand it then either. Like, you released the game, whether you did it like accidentally or whatever, you released it into the world, so it's in the world. And to do copyright claims using the DMC or the DMCA, like, that just seems like a total abuse. And anytime stuff like that happens, I get really angry, because I hate when big media stomps all over the little guy just because they can, and they have all the lawyers in the world to do it. So anyway, that's what happened. I don't know, against my better judgment, I downloaded it anyway just so I could check it out. We'll see if I go any further with it. But yeah, what a really douchey thing for Fox to do. It just seems dirty.
Yeah. Dumb.
I
got nothing else.
I was expecting something from you, but I can't see your video anymore, so I couldn't see what you're doing. You're having some bandwidth issues there?
I don't know what's going on, but you've cut out on a couple times, so I'm just trying to preserve a little bandwidth to make sure that we go and sound wonderful.
Awesome. Well, let's get into our next story, and this one I was really, really excited for until you burst my bubble, Jared.
I burst your bubble so hard.
I almost went into a fit of depression. I was so upset, and that is Roller Coaster Tycoon. Is now available on the iPad and iPhone for $2.99. I saw that news story. It just came out just before we started the podcast. I was like, I'm gonna get this game right away, but I was like, no, I'll wait until the show. It's on the iPhone and iPad for $2.99, and I was so excited. And then Jared's like, oh, you heard it's a big cash grab, in-app purchase fest, and I was like, no, what? No. It's $2.99. It's out. It's available for you to download right now. And Jared's like, no, it's not good. So I went and looked at it, and sure enough, Roller Coaster Tycoon is out. But it's not the Roller Coaster Tycoon that we grew and loved back when it first came out. This is a game with timers and friends on Facebook, and not be able to play it when you want to because you have to wait for timers to cool down. There's in-app purchases, and the worst, most disgusting thing is right in the features for when you download it. The game is preloaded with over $5 of in-app currency for the $2.99 that you're spending. So they're actually giving you money, Jared, is what they're trying to say here.
Clearly, you're like making money by buying this game.
You are. I'm gonna buy it multiple times just so I can make so much money. It'll be great. But yeah, like a game that I heard was coming out, was super excited for, now has been ruined because it is a free to play cash grab, and it's not even free to play because it's $3 to buy. I could almost understand it if it was a free to play game, but it's not. You have to pay $3, and then you're paying $3 for a free to play game. I am so disappointed. I was a huge fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I could not wait to play this one on my iPad. And now I will not download it and not play it, and probably never play another Roller Coaster Tycoon game ever again because I'm so disappointed. Maybe even a game from Atari, because this is a really dirty thing for Atari to do.
Yeah, I was really disappointed because I was not huge Coaster Tycoon. I did play Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 quite a bit, but yeah, just I want to see some more reviews and stuff about how aggressive the in-app purchases are before I go and actually keep playing it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. If I'm paying $3 for a freemium game that isn't free, I've done that before, and I've hated myself for doing it. I just can't do it for this one. Ugh, yeah, terrible.
Yeah, sorry for bursting your bubble.
Well,
I hope we can still be.
oh, we can be friends. I just know if I can be friends with Atari anymore. I think they're on my they're off my BFF list. They're not a friend of mine anymore. I'm getting more and more disappointed and jaded with the App Store ecosystem, with all the freemium cash grab games that are coming out. I want to buy a game and actually just buy the game and play it, and not have to spend any more money to enjoy this game. It's
really true. It seems like it's kind of where the entire ecosystem is, and I understand that it makes a lot of money, so that people will keep doing it. I hope though that there are still developers at some point that continue to pay attention to the other people that make good games that I can pay them for up front.
Yeah, exactly.
And not have them. In fact, one of our news stories, skipping ahead a little, and we can go back and catch the other ones. But
Sure.
there's a study done that basically says that 46% of the money made came from 0.22% of mobile game players.
Yeah, so
that is insane.
You broke up.
Money.
You broke up a little bit, so let me repeat that. 46% of app revenue, mobile app revenue, comes from 0.22% of the players that are playing the game. So 1/5 of a person out of 100 is funding almost half of the money that these game developers are making. So there's a bunch of people that have really addictive personalities, that need to spend money. Maybe they're the people that get addicted to VLT machines, like that type of personality. Well, they found that they can play these games and still get that endorphin rush by doing it, and they're spending gobs of money on these apps. They talk about the image on the story that we're looking at is Skylanders Cloud Patrol, but there's other games like Clash of Clans. There's The Simpsons. I know people that have spent thousands of dollars on The Simpsons. And it's like, why are you spending this type of money on this game? I've spent a little bit of money. I've spent probably like $15, $20, whatever, over the 2 years that I've played it. These people are spending $20, $40 every time there's an update because they want to buy every single item that comes out. And from when I've started playing it to now, the costs of items and premium buildings that have extra characters and stuff have increased every single time. They're just trying to find the point to where they're not making more money than they were the week before. Then they'll drop it down a little bit, and that will be the set price for all this stuff. And it's disappointing because I'd like some of these items, but I'm not about to spend $20 to buy a building to get a character for my game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm happy if I am enjoying a game, even if, for me, there's some games that do it extremely well, and I sing the praises on Bug Heroes 2, but I feel like they do a very good job at you can play the game and enjoy it without paying anything. I went and spent a little extra money to try and get some stuff a little bit faster, and I'm happy with that because I was really enjoying the game. Um, so I mean, I'm not opposed to paying as long as I feel like I'm getting a, a full game and then additional content that actually is valuable. I'm willing to pay a little more. And then your game was Simpsons Tapped Out that you had talked about that you'd spent 20 bucks on. I've probably spent maybe not quite that much, but probably 15 bucks on Marvel Puzzle Quest because I've played the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
And it's the freemium game that I've been going back to, and I am getting the bonus now for like half a year of playing it every day. So, but it's the same thing. I'm willing to pay a little bit, but it just shows that some of these in-app purchases are very. There's another study that we don't actually have the note for here, but um, it basically showed that a lot of the people that are paying all this money are also the same people that get very heavily addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me, and it really makes me worried, and just about what's going to happen to try, in 5 years, are we going to have like in-app purchases anonymous or something like that? Because people, the addictive, if you're prone to that type of thing, the in-app purchase model completely preys on you. So, yeah, it's just it's going to be a new and evolving because it seems like it's in all the games now, and you're seeing it move over to different platforms, and it's going to be the big story, and probably for the next 3 or 4 years, where different things are going to be happening in it, and I'm sure that some publishers will abuse it, and some will do good jobs, and some will do poor jobs. So it
Yeah, it's tough. It is really tough. I don't know. I'm getting really jaded about gaming on iOS, which is really sad. So that's why I've been looking for the smaller indie, like real indie games, not the indie cash grab games, but the people that have a passion and they make a game that's really stylized, even if it's a small game. And it cost me $4. I'd rather pay that than this type of stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just something that we're gonna have to watch and see how it evolves. And obviously, developers are gonna do what they can feed their families with and make the money that they need to. But
Yeah.
I just it gets a little concerning to me at times with the way some of the stuff is going. And this whole monetization stuff it's going to be a big topic in the gaming industry, and it really, I hope that people learn how to do it well, and that so that as this goes on, this becomes less of an issue, and
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, like Cannon Shane in the chat room is saying, if it's free, I can understand in-app purchases. So you have to pay for the game, then everything should be included. Should be the simple business model for all mobile gaming platforms. And yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if I'm paying $3 for your game, it shouldn't be a timer-based in-app purchase fest. I mean, that's crazy, but I mean,
I'm fine if they have like DLC. You get an
Yep.
extra character for $1. Like so.
And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the timer based, where you can't play the
Yeah,
game
exactly.
because of timers. That is freemium. That is evil and terrible, but that's what freemium is. But when you're paying $3 for the game, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, everyone be aware. I
Yep.
mean, that's the way things are going, and we just need to be aware, and the way that we can vote is with our dollars. Support the developers that do try and do the premium experiences that don't cost a lot.
Totally.
So,
Yeah, and I have to thank you, Jared, because I would have just insta bought it because I'm a huge fan of the franchise, not realizing that it was one of these in-app purchase fests, and I would have been really angry because I wouldn't even have looked at the screenshots. Just like Roller Coaster Tycoon, buy, and it would have been a very sad day in my house. So thankfully, that didn't happen. All right, let's move on. A couple quick news items before we get into the reviews. First is that Minecraft Pocket. Mojang announced this week that the Minecraft Pocket Edition has sold 21 million copies across Android and iOS. And these are sales. So that's a lot of copies of Minecraft being sold, and it seems like every week there's another Minecraft sold blah being released. But yeah, 21 million. That's a huge number at like $5 a pop or $7 a pop, whatever it is.
You know what's really bad? I still don't really understand Minecraft.
I dig it. I really love
I
Minecraft, but I don't like it on the mobile. I love playing it on my PS3, and that's kind of where I found my Minecraft niche, is doing it that way.
Yeah, I was actually kind of enjoying your little series where you were teaching Will how to play Minecraft some because I was actually starting to understand it a little bit.
We're going to be filming more of that soon, so you'll be able to watch some of that stuff too.
Okay.
But yeah, 21 million. So congrats to Mojang for continuing to make ungodly amounts of money from a little game, the little game that everybody seems to like. So
Yeah, they really started a movement with that game. I mean, there's
totally.
been so many different types of even Terraria or, all this whole voxel art seems to kind of stem from the Minecraft world, which is great.
Yep. Yep,
All
yep.
right, so the next topic we had today, this one was actually like late breaking news. Just happened today. Comixology, which was a cool little service that you could have the app, and that you would be able to. Great, I clicked on the link and it brought an auto app, or an auto ad. It was cool because you were able to keep kind of your comic book collection in it digitally, and you were able to go and buy various comic books, even old ones, and it was a pretty cool service. It was announced today that they have been bought by Amazon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Thoughts?
it's pretty interesting. The reason why I included it in the show notes is Comixology really wasn't anything until the iPad came out. And the thought of reading comics on a tablet just made total sense. And they started as a little app with independent comics. And next thing you know, they are selling pretty much everything and anything in their app now. And they're a huge service, and they were bought by Amazon, similar to Amazon buying Audible and a bunch of other companies as well. So congrats to the Comixology team. I guess it does really kind of make sense for the company that owns the Kindle to sell more digital reading materials.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good for them. No, the finances haven't been released, so we don't know how much money was exchanged. But yeah, we'll see if what Amazon decides to do with it.
Yeah.
If they decide to try and invest and make it really an awesome service, or leave it alone, or shut it down. Who
Yep.
knows? But it'll be interesting to see what the new direction is
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Comixology.
Yeah, Amazon has announced that they're not gonna change anything. They're not gonna like acquire everything, and it's now the Amazon comic book store. It's going to run as its own separate company like Audible does, but now they're going to have this huge juggernaut with money falling out of its pants, basically behind them, letting them do whatever they want. So they say they're not done making comic books better. So hopefully that leads to big things in the future. All right, and last up, a real quick note. Hitman is a long running series of video games. A mobile version will be coming. It's called Hitman Go, and it's $4.99. It's coming on April 17th, and it is a puzzle game. It's not a murder simulator. It's way different than what I thought it would be, but it looks really cool. It looks like you're actually playing a board game when you're playing this game. So I wanted to speak about it because we didn't get a chance to because of not doing shows forever. But yeah, you can definitely check out Hitman Go in about a week's time and see what it is. It's this weird board game, puzzle game thing, loosely set in the Hitman universe where you're a hitman and you have to perform hits and kill people without other people finding out what you're doing.
Yeah, and since Canon Shane is in the chat room, it's already soft launch in Australia, in
Oh,
case you care.
there you go, Canon Chain. You can go soft launch the game that you have to buy for $5 or whatever it is in Aussie money, because I know you guys pay a hell of a lot more for most stuff than we do.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Let's get into our reviews. Jared, do you wanna go first?
Sounds good.
And I don't
I'll
know if you
try to
could.
restore my video here for just a minute,
I was gonna
and
say I don't know if your video is gonna work, but we can try.
yep, just let me know if I start cutting out, and
Sure.
I'll stop. So, the game that I am going to be talking about is a game called Shattered Planet. So this game, it is turn-based. Yes, I know. Um, it is kind of a roguelike in that there you are a clone and there are all these different world or there's this big world that you're exploring, and as you go into it, what's going to happen is there's a grid that you're moving across, and it's turn based, so you'll move and then all the other characters will move, and you get to wander around these worlds and explore, the different worlds, and it's randomly generated, so every time you go in it's going to be different. And so there's some interesting things in that you are a little guy that you'll find goods, and the equipment will go back into your bank, and then at some point you will die, and you can go and spend your money and buy more equipment, or just use the equipment you found on your last turn. And once you find all or get all the new equipment, you can go back and try again and try and get farther. And so, as you're exploring levels, you'll come across bad guys. You'll come across like treasure chests. You'll come across the little key cards that allow you to access other areas. And there's like three stats in it. So there's like strength, and then there's wits, which means your ability to avoid attacks, and then your health. And then you'll find different helmets and armor and weapons. And the interesting thing is this game is free, which is kind of interesting for this sort of a game, because I would have expected it to cost money. Um, and the but what ends up happening is there's in-app purchases. So the way that it works is that often, especially early on the game, you will not get deep enough that you can generate enough money or find enough items that you will then be able um, to be able to re-outfit yourself to get as far. So you'll go through, and you'll just you'll die, and you won't have enough items, and so you won't get as far. And eventually, what'll happen is you'll go from getting pretty far to not ahead and pony up some money, and then you'll be able to do more. One of the interesting things is, though, here, and I think it's almost required for this, is there is a crystal tripler in there. So if you go ahead and buy that, it makes it so that when you find stuff, you actually get 3 crystal instead of 1. And once you get that, then you're able to actually be successful enough that you're actually able to build up your character, get farther, which means that you're able to equip yourself with better items. So as much as this game says that it's free, I would like people to consider that it is a $3 game, and that you need to go ahead and buy the crystal tripler early, because the longer you wait, it's kind of like you'll run out of gas, and so then you have to start from this run out of gas position to try and get enough to actually make it further. Whereas if you buy it fairly quickly right after you purchase the game, you'll immediately be able to make progress and not have the dip in progress. I don't know if I explained that very well, but anyway, it is free. Just realize that there are in-app purchases, and that in order to really make progress and continue in the game, I highly recommend the Crystal Tripler. So the like I said, the main game is grid based, turn based, that you're slowly moving and exploring these worlds. You'll find a door down, and the deeper you go, you'll also get rewards. Additionally, you'll get big rewards for filling out your basically encyclopedia of this planet, because apparently, even though these aliens are really smart and can clone you, they have not surveyed this planet at all, and so they're sending you down to, um, and here's the next weird thing, though, is that bad guys will come up, and the bad guys don't look very different one from another, and so you'll have like a normal guy that you're attacking from some like savage tribe or something like that, and he'll be easy, and then you'll go up to the next one, and you'll be like, oh, he's going to be easy too because he looks the same, or maybe it's similar, and I just didn't notice the difference. And you'll attack him, and he'll kill you in one hit. And it turns out that he was an elite or something like that, and it doesn't tell you that up front, and that's obviously very painful if you've been building up and you're getting a good run. If all of a sudden a guy that you thought would be fine suddenly kills you in one hit, um, I was pretty disappointed whenever that would happen, and it happened a few times. So the game is it's pretty difficult. It definitely has that roguelike feel, and like I said, it's free, but it's really not. If you're gonna play it, expect to have to buy the Crystal Tripler to make progress. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 just because I feel like it's a little deceptive. I kind of wish they would just charge $3 for the start of the game, and I understand that they're trying to get a lot of people to try it out before to get a big install base. I I only kind of liked it, and it was so frustrating that there was a couple of times that I would just quit playing, and I would stop playing it for a couple of days before I could go back to it because it would all of a sudden I would have lost like my cool gun or my cool sword and just be mad at the game. So um, yeah, if you kind of like the hard games, if you like the really difficult games, and it sounds interesting to you, it's probably worth a check out. But otherwise, I would say that this is one that you can just let pass. And it's Shattered Planet, and it's
We lost you right at the end as you were going to say what the price is.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Oh, you're back now. What was the price?
Free
Free.
with in-app purchases.
Cool. All right, awesome. Well, let's get into my review. I'm going to be reviewing a game that just came out that I was really excited for until I played it, and that is Crazy Taxi City Rush. It's free on the App Store, so I knew there was going to be in-app purchases and freemium type stuff. Crazy Taxi launched a while ago on the App Store. I'm trying to think of when it first came out. I think it was 2012. The first version of Crazy Taxi, which was essentially the old like Sega Genesis, PS2, GameCube, that type of game where you're driving around a city collecting fares, trying to get as far and as much money as you can, et cetera, et cetera. This one is a freemium version of it. So I thought it would still be the same game, but there'd just be freemium elements thrown on top of it. It's worse than that. So this game is freemium in the way that you can do upgrades, and upgrades can take either coins or premium currency. You can always buy more coins or premium currency whenever you want. I expect that. It has the stupid timer where you can only play 5 times and you have to wait. You have to go sit in a corner because you've been bad wanting to play this game more than you should. I hate that, and any game that has that is pretty much an instant delete in my books, so I'll be deleting this one after I give you my review. I've said it before, but if you're a developer making a game and someone wants to play your game, don't have an artificial timer saying, no, you have to wait 25 minutes to play this game, or give us one of the premium currency and you could play right today. That is garbage, and that is not what a game should be. That is not what I would call a game at all. So this game, or this thing on my iPad, should be fun. So you're playing Crazy Taxi, and if you're not familiar with it, you drive a cab and you have to drive from place to place, picking up people and taking them to the location. This really isn't Crazy Taxi in that regard. It's Crazy Taxi in the way that you're basically in a cab and you're getting from one location to another, but you're essentially driving in a straight line. You don't really get any control as to where you drive in the city. And even worse than that, it's not a driving game where you're like driving with the iPad as a steering wheel or a virtual controls. All you're doing is swiping left and right in the different lanes of the game. So it's like it's more like a temple run than it is a Crazy Taxi game. So totally not at all what I wanted. So basically the game revolves or exists just to take your money, but it consists of you basically driving in a straight line, swiping left and right to get out of one lane into another, collecting gold and other things that may be there, avoiding cars, and getting people from one location to another as quickly as possible. As you get further in the game, you have to steer around corners, and you steer around corners by holding your finger down on the screen to go into kind of like a drift, and then you have to slide left or right. So a game that isn't about steering at all, because you're always driving in a straight line and the game auto turns for you, they throw in the steering mechanic, and it's not even that good. Crazy Taxi, you have to stop to pick people up. In this game, to stop and pick people up, you just tap the screen a bunch of times until you stop, and then you start going again. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much redeeming about this game. It's not at all what I wanted to play. It's not fun. The upgrades are really, really slow, making you spend a lot of premium currency, a lot of coins. So that means a lot of grinding, which in some games is okay, but in this game, it's not. Like I said, it's not enjoyable at all. It auto drives for you. It's like it's a driving game that auto drives for you. How does that even make sense? So I think I'm going to end my review there because I don't really have anything else to say about this game other than I'm happy that I get to delete it right now. So I do not recommend this game at all. Crazy Taxi City Rush. It is just it's a cheap cash in of a franchise that is super popular at one point in its life. It's not now. But I was hoping for more than what they put out, and it just seems like a simple cash grab to try to get some money from the people that remember it. And the worst thing that it did to Crazy Taxi is it doesn't have The Offspring playing in the background while you're driving around. How can you be Crazy Taxi without The Offspring playing in the background as you drive around? So Crazy Taxi City Rush, which is free on the App Store, gets a 1 out of 5 from me.
Wow, a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say your video is frozen, so I was like, did I lose Jared while I was talking? I'm not sure if I did or not.
I didn't you even give Flappy Bird a 2?
I think I did. Yeah, I did.
And you're saying this is worse than Flappy Bird?
Yeah, it is definitely a worse game than Flappy Bird. So I'm gonna go find my icon, which is right here on my iPad, and it's all wiggly now, and now it's been deleted, so it's off my iPad. And that's the best part of this game, is the fact that you can delete it from your iPad in my eyes anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it's terrible.
That's disappointing. We're kind of downers today. We're not real happy with the new stuff.
Well, for a long time there, all we did was like 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 games, and it was getting kind of boring talking about all the good games. Now we're starting to talk about all the bad games. We got to find a happy medium, I guess.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah, it's pretty scary that games like this are coming out more and more. So you have to be really picky and choosy to see what games are deserving of your time and money. So Crazy Taxi City Rush is definitely not one of those. All right, well, that's gonna about do it for this episode of the Touch of Gaming podcast, episode number 163. Again, sorry for being gone for so long. Hopefully we won't have an extended break like that anytime soon in the near future. We want to hear from you guys. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think of the show. You can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505-VG-Podcasts, or email your questions into vgpodcast@gmail.com. And I just lost Jared, so his call dropped out right at the end of the podcast, so that's okay. So that's gonna about do it for this episode of the show. I'd say bye to Jared right now, but I can't, so he's saying bye in the chat room right now to everybody that's listening in at home. We'll be back in about a week's time, so look forward to that. Until then, don't be duped. into playing really bad in-app purchase ridden games, go out there and play some really decent titles. Talk to you guys in about a week's time. Later.